Hello again, everybody. This is Derek, and I am back. We're going to be doing some flocking on these American Paratroopers today. Sorry, get everything is kind of squared away. So how's everybody doing today? Hopefully you're all doing well. Yeah, I got a giant pill here. Okay, let's. Now, I'm not sure what project I'm going to start after these guys. Once I get these guys posted on my store, I think I might grab the German SS. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure which way I want to go with all that. Okay, I kind of organized these a little bit into squads, but it's irrelevant. I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm going to organize them back into squads after they're finished. Yeah, I just did that to kind of give myself kind of a heads up of how many squads I can build, and would they have BARs or the light machine guns, or did I have like sniper teams or officers or anything like that. Got that resolved. Well, it was just curiosity, really. Because I plan to do a little bit of sprinkling, I'm actually not going to put a glove on my right hand. I have a little bit less tactile feel with the gloves on. I mean, they protect me from various things. Okay, so if you're curious, I'm using this Knock Static Grass 2.5 millimeter Spring Meadow. It's one of my favorite, if not my absolute favorite, block. Okay. Put a little glue. Add quite a bit of water. Yeah, I switched everything up, and I don't think I like it. I think this palette is going to go back to my right. Yeah, we're gonna. It just feels better on my right side. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm right-handed. Now I'm making sure that I put this glue at the transition point between the base and the figure. To help disguise. It won't get rid of, but it'll help disguise the big bloke. Now if I find that having the back door open is going to cause me or cause the static grass to blow around, then I'll go close the door. Yeah, I was the other night, this was off camera, but the other night, before I did the dull coat, after the wash, I was going back over their uniforms with a very thinned down, decomposed flesh to kind of highlight it and bring it back into a good looking appearance. But after I did about 10 of the models, I thought to myself, what is the cost benefit of this? It's taking me a huge amount of time, and is it really going to change the look of the model? Or is it just an extra step that I'm wasting my time with? It did change the look of the model, don't get me wrong. It did make them look a little bit better. But not to the point of the amount of time that I was investing. Knowing that I was going to be selling these, I kind of said to myself, I'm wasting my time. So after I did about 20 of the models or so, I said, nah, let's just dull coat these guys. And I kind of looked at these models and I was like, if I played with these myself in any of my own bolt action games, would I be happy with the way they look? And the answer was a resounding yes. My new color scheme looks really good. Very historical. Looks like they'd be very well displayed. Now I'm not doing 100% coverage of the base with glue, but I am doing a fairly large percentage because I think it makes the bases look better when there's a lot of grass. But also, once I sprinkle it on and it gets stuck in, and then I eventually shake it off, and then I knock off any of the excess static grass, there inevitably are little gaps. So it's almost like I don't have to paint the gaps, putting gaps in the glue because it'll inevitably show up anyway. I think that's possibly because as I'm sprinkling this static grass, sometimes it falls in a clump, and then that whole clump doesn't necessarily stick. That's why I try to sprinkle the thinnest uh, light dusting of grass is the best way to go. And then I do multiple coats. Like I'll shake off what I can, trying to get rid of those clumps is what I'm doing. And then going back and doing it again. But I do but I do leave some gaps. So I'd say probably 80 to 90% of the base is covered. With some random holes here and there. Now I would leave bigger gaps, more frequent gaps, if I was planning on adding some tufts. But because I'm not planning on adding any tufts, I go about it a slightly different way. And I also leave um, a mound of flock on there. Well, maybe not a mound, but excess. So that when it dries, it'll soak into the glue and all that. I think I'm going to go out for a walk today. I know this is super exciting, right, guys? Watching paint dry. Well, we're not watching paint dry. I'm actively working on these guys. So these last three miniatures that I just pulled out of that box is a medium machine gun team. They're just individually based. Okay. All right, that's got the first step. I'll still have to let the glue dry and then knock it off. I like these Ritz boxes. They're a little bit larger than my Lance boxes, right? The Lance boxes, nope, I guess the Lance boxes are the same. Maybe it's the Austin boxes. The Austin boxes, as you can see, they just fit right down inside. Sometimes that's an advantage. Storing the boxes and all. But I like the Ritz boxes because they seem to be sturdy. You know, good quality cardboard. I mix up a little bit more glue. And water. Now I'm using Mod Podge as my white glue. I'd used Elmer's for a long time. And I just thought I'd try Mod Podge just to see if the results were any better. Because it's not just a glue, it's also kind of a resin sealer. I don't have any outstanding orders other than battle scale buildings. And I've been waiting for those for over a month now. Been almost 5 weeks. Monday I was going to write them a letter, and then I just forgot about it until this morning. I was like, you know what? I never did write them a letter. So I'll be doing that, if I remember, after the stream. Now, I had these guys all ready and ready to go last night, like I was going to do the flocking. But I kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And eventually I just said, you know what? I'll just do that tomorrow on stream. Part of that putting it off was my wife got this malware on her laptop, and she brought it to me to help her resolve it. So I put everything down. At the time I was still applying texture paste to everybody. Got about halfway done, and then she approached me for help. So I put everything down and jumped to her aid. And it took me a minute to figure out what was going on. But I think we got it resolved. Now, would you guys prefer me to do some British paratroopers or some German Fallschirmjägers instead of the German SS that I'm planning on doing? If so, just let me know. I'll take it under advisement. Or if you're excited for the SS like I am, This is not hard at all. Just time consuming. Remember, guys, I still have, at least for a few more days, a sale on my store for 20% off everything on the store. So if you've been thinking about picking up a pack of miniatures or something that I've got on the store, but you've been putting it off, now might be the best time. Also, if you contact me, this is my ethics coming out. But if you contact me on eBay, because you go to eBay, you see something you like, and you contact me, or if you want a commission or something like that, and you contact me through eBay, I will reply through eBay. But if you contact me via email or YouTube, like you just send me a direct message on YouTube, then we can communicate via email. So we had BLTs last night, and not all of the lettuce and tomato that was cut for our sandwiches was used. So there was some leftover lettuce and tomato in the fridge. And I was planning this morning on making some scrambled eggs, which I did. But I added some slices of tomato and lettuce, and then I grabbed some jalapenos. Mixed all that in. And it was delicious. So, did any of you guys watch the NFL draft? Well, I was rooting for the Titans, see who they would pick at number 7, and I was kind of hoping they were going to pick Joe Alt, but we picked Latham instead because Joe Alt was chosen at like number 5 or something like that. He was chosen a little bit earlier. That just tells you how good of a player he is. But Latham seems like a good option as well. I wasn't really very familiar with Latham until, of course, after he got picked, and then the analysts started talking about his stats and his off the field activities and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay. Guy seems pretty legit. Yeah, because we definitely needed some protection on our front line. We had like the worst offensive line in NFL history last year. So by picking up Latham, that should improve it a little bit anyway. Also, on these figures, I think I mentioned this in a previous live stream, but about 90% of them, not all of them, but about 90, maybe not 90, yeah, maybe 90% of them have this mold on their shoulder, a sculpt, part of the sculpt, which shows the Screaming Eagle patch and tab. So I actually went ahead, knuckled down, and painted those black. If these models were my own and not me planning on selling them, I think I would have added the eagle itself, hand painted, like a beak and a what do they call that? A mane. But that would have been super time consuming. And just so you know, I kind of base my prices on the amount of time it took me to complete. So if something takes like 1 day to fully assemble and paint, and then another model takes 2 days to fully assemble and paint, well, the 2 day model is going to cost twice as much as the. Well, okay, that's not really true. That's not true, because there's two aspects that I bill for. One of them is the cost of the model, and then the second is the time it took me to paint them. So just hypothetically, let's say a 1 day paint is $5, right? And a 2 day paint is $10. But the model itself cost $5. So I might charge $10 for a 1 day paint and then $15 for a 2 day paint. So you notice it's not double because the cost of the miniature didn't change. And what I do on a big lot like this, when I'm doing 100 models, I'll take that 4 day paint, assembly, priming, cleaning, painting, locking. If that takes 4 days, then I'll apply my 4 day rate. And then I'll divide by 100 because I didn't paint one model in 4 days. I painted 100. What normally winds up at around, usually, is anywhere between $5 to $8, somewhere in that neighborhood per model, just depending. So a 6-man squad might go for $30, but it also might go for $48. Just depending on how much work went into it and how much the model itself costs. So if I was painting a single Space Marine from Games Workshop, and that single Space Marine cost me $30 to buy, you could expect like a $60 or more painted version. kind of like some of the plastic tanks from Warlord. You know, they're about $30 approximately. But they're usually model kits. And it takes me a day or two to build. And that goes into my cost. We'll call it labor. Now we got the cost of the goods, and then we got the labor. But then there's other vehicles like, let's say, Perry or West Wind, which are like only have like 3 parts that you have to glue together. You have like the hull, and then you glue on the left track and the right track, and maybe a barrel on the turret, and you're done. So those are going to be cheaper just because of labor. All right. Got that box filled. I don't know how I want to do this. Oh, we got some comments. Let me go ahead and take a short break and read the comments. I have to switch my glasses out to be able to do that. Oh, wait, why is that not being displayed? Try that again. Nope. Refresh. There we go. He says, "Hi, I'm back. I went to Japan a while ago and saw a kit of models. A lot of models. Oh, yeah, a lot of models. Absolutely. I think, you got Tamiya and Fujimi and a bunch of other companies. And then you say a large number of battleship and tank models. It's a pity my suitcase is too small. Otherwise, I want to move them all back home." Yeah, mail order, you know. Yeah, mail order. And there might be a bunch of model kits that are like unavailable in the US that you can only find over there. I wonder why Japan has a lot of really good model companies. I guess a lot of different countries have their niche. Like England has their miniatures, and Japan has their model kits. Germany has their train sets. Just remember the next time you go to Japan, take an empty suitcase with you. Or when you're there, just take them down to UPS and ship them to your home. And they'll be there when you get home. They'll be there waiting for you. And you can opt to have it uh, like a pickup, like you ship it home, but they'll hold it at the warehouse until you go there and pick it up. That way it's not left on your front porch. Somebody might walk by and think it's theirs. I am very happy with the way these guys turned out. The wash that I used was a strong tone. A lot of times I'll use soft tones just to give like subtle shadows. But this time I decided to use the strong tone. And wow, it really gives the model a very cool look. So our Traveler game is probably going to go to an every other week schedule. Not sure when that ever. Well, it's going to start immediately, but I don't know if we're playing this week or if we're playing next week. And then it'll start rotating from there. We're waiting for James to let me know what would be best for him. I want to play every week, but with all my commissions and painting projects, it actually cuts into my preparation time. For the games. And so by doing it every other week, it should make it easier for me to continue to work on my projects and prepare. Now, if you're interested in a commission work, like you want something painted, you're welcome to drop me an email or contact me. And currently, right now, I have no commissions. I have two people right now talking about starting a commission, but I haven't received their vehicles or their figures yet. And it's always first come, first serve. So whoever's package I get in the mail first is the one I work on first. One guy, he's done business with me a number of times. You know, I've done like 4 or 5 commissions for him. And I even met his brother at a convention I went to. Brother approached me and said, "Hey, do you know this guy?" And I was like, yeah. Like, "Oh, he's my brother." And I was like, "Oh, really? Oh, okay, cool." You know, it was one of those kind of situations. I wanted to say, "Are you on good terms with him?" Do you like your brother? Now, not on this base, but some of these bases, texture paste, when I was putting them on, I put it on real thin or I skipped an area. I never want to skip an area. That would have been a mistake, but sometimes it happens. So what I'll do is I'll make sure I just put flock on that spot I missed. Cover up the mistake. But, okay, so one guy wants me to paint some figures. That's the brother I was talking about. And then there's another guy that wants me to paint, I think, like 8 15mm tanks for him. Nothing too large. Just a nice collection of armor. He contacted me like a month ago, said, "Can you do this?" And I was like, "Absolutely. This is how much I'll charge you." And then he sends me an email back. "Okay, that's great. Do you have this tank? Because I really like it." And I was like, "I don't, but I can order it and I can get it in." Which I immediately ordered and got in. And then he sent me a message. He sent me like 2 or 3 or 4 messages every day. I don't work well with, I'm not going to call it harassment because that's not what it is. Not bullying. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't work well with impatience. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. If you want me to work for you, great. What else is there needed to be said? Nothing. But no, he wanted to say the same thing over and over and over. And I got all these messages from him. And I stopped replying because all the messages said the same thing. So I was like, well, I already answered that question. You know, and it was like, after about 2 or 3 days of asking the same question, pressuring me, which you can't pressure me because I don't have your models. All you're doing is annoying me. You know? And so, after about a week of no response from me, he said, "Never mind, I'll find somebody else to do it." And part of me said, "Ooh, thank God." I didn't want to do his work anyway. Because I don't work well with annoying customers. I'll do it. I'll bill you. Everything's good. But I'm not going to constantly have some kind of back and forth discourse with you over nothing. You know, I'm not your advisor. I will give some advice if you ask for it, you know, but not constantly every day. 4 messages daily. That's just too much. And so when he said, "I sent you an email," no, that's not true. I sent you a letter, which he did. He sent me a physical letter with my phone number. "I need you to call me." Whoa, dude, no. No. That's not how this works. If I was to call you, I'm based on his messages, he would be ringing my phone constantly. But I pretty much don't communicate with anybody over the phone. If you want to communicate with me, drop me an email. But he said he was moving on. So when I got that letter, I said, oh, this is that customer that was impatient and was annoying. So I just took that letter and tossed it in the garbage. I didn't even open it. It might have had a check for $1 million in it. I don't know. I threw it away. And then a month later, this last Monday, he drops me a message again saying, I still have those tanks and I still need them painted. And I was like, oh, I thought you had moved on. Okay. Send them to me and I'll paint them. And then guess what I got today? 4 messages. Because actually I didn't reply to him till Thursday. But Friday morning when I woke up and I checked my eBay just to make sure I didn't have any more packages that needed to go out today, I noticed I had 4 messages from this guy. I'm going to read them. And if it's more of the same nonsense, I'm going to have to tell him, stop contacting me. I don't want your business. You're an annoying, spoiled little brat. I know I'm being mean. That might not even be what his messages are. I'm just, what's the word for it? Buckling up. Making myself, getting myself prepared for a ridiculous messages. They all might be legit. I don't even know. But we will read them today. And we'll see if I'm going to be doing business with this guy. Normally I don't start this late, like at 11 o'clock. When we first started the Wargaming Weekly, I did it once a week, usually sometime in the middle of the week, and I did start at 11 o'clock. And I went from 11 to 1 because that gave me the entire morning to get all my packages boxed up and shipped out, and it let me, have my breakfast and get the cameras all ready and everything like that. So it was a nice, comfortable, easy start. But over the last couple of months, I've been wanting to do it more often, you know, just to get in there and give you guys something while you're at work or whatever, or at home painting yourself. Or just more content on the channel, because that always helps the algorithm. If you have like a regular show, it's better than if you have an irregular show. So I started doing it more often, and I started, because of that, it actually made it easier for me to start earlier. So one reason why I wanted to start earlier was so that I could be done earlier. And then after the stream or whatever, I can take care of whatever business I need to take care of or whatever. Or whatever. So now I think 11 is a late start. It's the original start time. Oh yeah, okay, now I remember. Something just came to light. My wife used to work uh, at a location, and it was usually like, I think on Wednesdays, and that was my opportunity to stream without interruptions. But now she's working Monday through Friday. So technically I could stream Monday through Friday without any interruptions. All right. I'm almost done. I've only got this left. Okay. Yeah, getting so low. Let's just go ahead and replenish the glue and the water. Now I add the water to lower the surface tension of the glue. It allows the flock to soak down into the water, and the glue shrinks and locks it in place. If it was just glue, can I get in there without ruining the model? Probably not. I'm not going to go down there. Nope, I am. I'm going to do it. It's between his legs. If I got any glue on his inner thigh, which I did a little bit, it'll be all right. There'll be a little grass attached to his inner thigh. Now, one of these snipers that I've got, um, he's leaning way up high, like he's reaching over something. He's prone, but his rifle is really high. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put a tuft on his base where he's having to shoot over the tuft. I might do the same for like the machine guns and the mortars, just because they're on much bigger bases, and those bases need tender love and care. Okay. Yeah, like there's a spot right there where there was no texture paste. Well, just got a helping of glue. So have you guys seen the new movie by Jennifer or with Jennifer Lopez where she's stuck inside of a robot like a power armor kind of suit? Um, I think it's called Atlas. It looks good. I think I'm gonna watch it. I don't normally associate Jennifer Lopez with sci-fi, but I don't have any problem. It looks like she's going to do a good job. So we'll see. That's just a preview, though. So that's all I've seen is a trailer. Can you guys hear the birds outside? One of them is really active. Like chirp a chirp a chirp a chirp. Okay, well, this medic, I did wind up hand painting the red crosses. I didn't pull out any decals or anything. Yeah, this is that sniper that's like. Okay, well, the figure base is super thick. And I thought about painting it up like a rock. Like he's laying on top of a rock doing his sniper business. Then I said, nah, we'll just paint it and put grass on it. And then I'll just put a big tuft in front of him. Whoa, slid right out of my hand. This brush I'm using comes in a pack of 100 brushes for $5. Was that 5 cents for this brush? And I reused it, and I will continue to reuse it. So it's a good investment for doing bases. Not a detail brush. I wouldn't paint a figure with it. Not like a Transon or an Artsify. I was thinking I might do a Napoleonic unit or two next instead of those SS. Remember, all of this is for the store. They would have to be French or British because I've got some Hanoverans up there, and I've had them for a good amount of time. So that's telling me that nobody's really in the market for Hanoverans. Or maybe specifically those regiments. And I also have a couple of American War of Independence units on there that have been on there for a while. Now, I've come to the conclusion that I'm not playing Battle Group. I'm playing O Group. And I'm probably not going to be playing Command Decision. Maybe. I mean, I'm going to keep all those rules and everything. But my focus is going to be O Group. And with both Command Decision and Battle Group, you didn't need, but you potentially could have a lot of vehicles, like 5 Sherman tanks or, 3 Jeeps and 6 trucks and stuff like that. Where in O Group, you don't really have that many vehicles. I guess you potentially could if you were playing like an armored battalion. But even then, the game is really designed to be played as an infantry unit. which I love. That's my fave. So I think I've got too many British and American and German vehicles painted up, because I painted them for battle group. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to thin the herd a little bit and take these painted models and put them on the store. I've already put some on there because I knew I had too many, a few months ago. But now it's even more acute. So I just need to figure out what I want to keep and what I want to sell. And then sell them. So if you guys are looking for some 15mm painted vehicles, stay tuned. I might advertise it on X. So be sure to follow me on our Twitter/X. Because whenever I do a sale, I put it on there. But I guess going forward, if I add any units that for my personal collection, I'll probably advertise it there as well. Now I do store weekly updates for my eBay store. But that's just a second location to find the information. Okay, 2 figures left. Oh, I almost dropped him. But I think I'm just going to do those SS. That was my initial plan. I could always do some medievals or some Romans or Napoleonics. Okay, that radio man is done. Okay, so these guys, they're still soaking into the glue, and I want to let them soak for 30 minutes or so. And then I'll clean them off. We'll see what they look like. All right, so we got some more comments. Here we go. Let's see what we got. We got Japanese models are of good quality because they love to pursue details. When I was a kid, I used to buy models made in China. What a disaster. It cannot be assembled at all. Oh, okay. Yeah, like I said, the Japanese do a really good job. Like Tamiya and Fujimi, Asagawa. Yeah, they got some good model companies over there. All right, and then we got Go For It says, hello. All right, Go For It, hello. How are you doing today? All right, so while these guys are soaking, I'm going to see if I can't find my SS and then pull them out and show you what I've got and what I'm going to be working on next. So bear with me. Just give me a few moments while I go touch this guy. No, that's not what I'm doing. Okay, there. I don't know if you can see me on camera, but I've got 3 boxes right here. And I know, I suspect anyway, that my SS are in the bottom box. Which I think to be the truth. And we're about to find out. This one is Rubicon. This is Plastic Soldier Company. And finally, bases. This is a box of bolt action, but this is not what's actually in this box. Give me a second. There we go. British 8th Army, British Airborne painting instructions, sort of. It does have a stug in here. Okay. Pretty cool. Stug. Instructions. I might be able to just sell that, but there are these German grenadiers in plastic that I'm holding on to, not doing them just yet. Okay, what do we got here? We got 2 German mortars. That's going to be part of this project. Paratroopers with medium mortars is not going to be part of the project. SS medium mortars. Yep, there we go. These are just German spare parts. Okay, we're going to set that off to the side. That says Elite Mix, which I don't know what that means. We'll look at that in a minute. And this says, whoa, this box is heavy. Fallschirmjäger. Okay. And then I got a box here of offensive miniatures. Okay. Ah, there we go. I was like, how do I open this box? Okay. Fallschirmjäger with mule. Are all these Fallschirmjägers? Because they look like they fell out of their box or their bags. Fallschirmjäger ammo. Fallschirmjäger fire support. That's a nice machine gun. I might do Fallschirmjägers because there's a lot of them. Okay, this that looks like a sniper, but it could be anybody. Okay, that's got a he's got the camo smock, so he's obviously a Fallschirmjäger. Yeah, that guy could be for anybody. I even have a dead cow. Radio. Okay, there's a lot of cool Fallschirmjägers in here. Is this a Fallschirmjäger as well? Was. Okay. So there's a bunch of Fallschirmjägers in this box. And I'm leaning towards this only because there's a lot of figures in here. What is this Elite Mix? What? It's almost empty. Resin wall. on a big round base. A gift. Okay, so that's a gift. They just look like regular old Germans. Okay. Now this says SS HMG and mortar. Okay, so that's an SS. Stretcher bearer team. Those could be SS. Okay, I'm going to drop them in the SS box here. I'm going to call Elite Mix as my SS box. But what about these guys? Trying to do everything in my lap here. It's a little difficult. Okay, this is a Jeep. What? It says EUSP. I have a feeling that's US Paratrooper Jeep. I should have done. It is. Okay, there's a Jeep, US Paratrooper Jeep. Well darn. Okay, keep going. US Paratrooper. Okay, so there's more US Paratroopers. Pathfinders. Okay. Okay, a Fallschirmjäger Nebelwerfer. Okay. Fallschirmjäger. Wow, I got a lot of Fallschirmjägers, so I might be doing them. Looks like a Pack 40. Okay. Was going to put SS in here, but... Okay, here we go. What do we got? SS... Sniper teams... British para anti-tank gun... Here's a SS fire support. Fallschirmjäger fire support. British para... I don't know what that is. Pack howitzer? Okay. SS Pack 40. And a British Jetterberg. Looks like a communication system, like radios and stuff. Okay, so we're not doing the SS. I only have a handful of those. We're not doing the US Para Pathfinders or the US Jeep. We're not doing the German mortars. Very interesting. I thought I had more SS. Okay, Elite Mix is actually what it is. Got this box here. And these. That's a lot of Fallschirmjägers. This box is heavy. Yep, we're going to do the Fallschirmjägers. Let's fit. Yeah, we're not going to do the Stug. Okay. That's going to be my next project right there. It's going to be a week, probably, to get all those done. But that's okay. I don't know if I did a what's in the box on those guys. Getting close to my lunchtime, but I don't want to break for lunch until I have cleaned off those figures. Okay. And I don't know if I'm going to do the dead cow. Probably am. There's a lot of cool miniatures in there. Okay. Got my next project. Now I've got a Fallschirmjäger book by Squadron. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that publishing company. I don't know if I could reach it from here. Yeah. Yeah, I've got this book, Fallschirmjäger in Action. by Signal publication. Okay, Squadron Signal. Um, it talks about Fallschirmjägers, where they were deployed, what their weapon systems were. But in the middle of the book, their knives and their boots and stuff. But in the middle, and their training, in the middle, there's color plates. And I really like the 4042. I really like the 4042. I think it's got kind of a cool contrast of colors. I don't know. I just like it. Now when you start getting into there's 4243, you get a large variety of camo smocks. I think there's another color plate. Oh, it's one all the way in the back. 4345. I don't know. This just kind of looks, not even. I don't know. It just looks dead. Doesn't look exciting. Machine guns, their mortars, some awards. Yeah, so I think I'm going to be painting them with this style right here. And this guy's got a green ammo can because it was green up until 43. I think they went with a Dunkelgelb after that. None of these guys show it. Plate 3. Let's see if it says anything about. A lot like Osprey, they have these plate numbers. Okay, maybe the plate descriptions are before it. Okay. Ebenemel, Narvik, Belgian, Holland. I'm looking for the plate descriptions. Casino. All the textures about the picture. Ah, here we go. Centerfold color plate. Plate 3. Jump smocks were used during the invasion of Crete. Machine gunner rests during a lull in the valley. Wears a burst pattern smock. Holster, sweat rag. Ah, here we go. And a 50 round belt drapes over his shoulder. Okay. And then it just says an additional supply of ammunition is contained in the canister at his feet. It doesn't really talk about the color. Well, but that's okay. We'll be working with that. Plus the internet. You know how that works. All right, let's clean these guys off. I'll be posting them on eBay tonight, maybe this afternoon. And tonight I will be doing a close-up of the finished product. So you guys can get a part of the store news update. What I'll do is I'll do like a zoom in of each of the figures. Okay. How am I going to do this? I think. Okay. So this is just the initial tap, because I'm sure it's still drying. This just gets rid of the loose. When it's all said and done, I'll go back in and brush the figures, you know, to clean off all the figures. I'll give you guys a little bit of a close-up in the box, close-ups, so you guys can kind of get a preview of what it's going to look like when they're all said and done. I'm just thinking to myself, what am I going to eat for lunch? I think I'm just going to go with some noodles. Maybe even just some ramen. Nothing too elaborate. Oh, perfect. Now, when you base your figures on fender washers, if you wanted, you could line your storage tray with magnets, like a magnet sheet. And then these guys would sit in there and they wouldn't move around. And remember, some of these guys are legs. There was a pack of snipers and flamethrowers, and they were all not paratroopers. Regular infantry. So when I show them off, be aware of that. Okay. I'm telling you, I'm proud of these guys. Proud of the work that I did on these. And I love offensive miniatures quality. So all these miniatures cost about 150 bucks. So cost per figure is about $1. And that's a good price for a highly detailed miniature. I think there was 4 or 5 BARs, 2 light machine guns. So I was thinking I could do like 6 or 7 6-man squads with 1 submachine gun per squad. But there's a couple of figures left over at the end. I think I can make another squad of just riflemen and maybe 1 submachine gun. I want to sell the figures in units, playable units. So I'd like to sell like a sniper with a spotter. Now and the bazooka with his loader. That's okay because both bazookas both have loaders. Machine guns are good. It's the snipers and the flamethrowers that I'm kind of concerned about. But the regular snipers, they didn't come with any spotters. And the flamethrowers, they don't come with anybody else. They're just flamethrowers. So I might be selling those individually. Because you can use any figure as a spotter. Flamethrowers, I'm going to take a look. I wonder if they're supposed to be in a squad. And if they are, they're just going to be sold individually. Okay. tap, tap, tap. Okay, we're getting ready to show you off. They're not completed yet because I still need a few tufts. But I'm going to do that after lunch. You'll get to see all that when I do the update video tonight. Well, I could record the video and then I could play it during my store news update. Normally goes up every Sunday night. As part of the what have you finished portion. Okay. Let's see if we can't get some close-ups. Take a look at, well, no, let's do this first. I don't want to make a mess. No mess by accident. That would be bad. Let's see if the camera will focus. And if lighting will serve well. This off. This on. Yeah. I don't know what you think. Remember that antenna I had to drill in there, and this fishing line. Where's that guy on my... See that guy right there? Just as an example, he's got that screaming eagle patch. You know, not all of them, but some of them do. And then the fire support teams. 60mm mortar in the middle there. Got your 81s. Got your 3-man machine gun team that's not on a base. And then the bottom two, well, no, not him. He looks paratrooper. But that guy's a line mortar. Okay, so look forward to seeing those on display. I'll have my little turntable and everything and get close-ups. Right now I'm going to go have lunch. And when I come back, throw some tufts on these, take some pictures for the store, And then later this evening, I'll post them on the store. All right, guys, thanks for coming out and checking out my week of production. And just know that I've got these Fallschirmjägers. The initial set was what's called a platoon deal, which had 45 figures. But I had gone through and bought a bunch of supplemental units like this Pack 40, you know, and the Nebelwerfer. Yeah, that guy's a giant Nebelwerfer. And this is a Berlin or Bust Paratrooper mortar set. There's 2 of them in there. But there's a lot of loose figs. Somehow they came out of their bags or whatever. There's a mule and handler. You know, Fallschirmjägers. Yeah. I gotta wash these. There's a heavy machine gun in here. There's snipers. There's the heavy machine gun. Dead cow. But this is fire support. MG-34 anti-aircraft. So it must have the anti-aircraft tripod mount. Yep, it does. Well, there's a lot of guys in there. Might be 2 sets. Canister team. Okay, that's a resupply canister. Maybe they're dragging it. I only see 1 canister, 2 guys. I don't know. I'm just looking for something that might stand out. Yeah, this sniper's got like a whole foliage thing all over him. Like a machine gun on the ground. Looks like a loader. I'm not sure if I'm going to do this guy. I think he's Mussolini. Might sell him separately or something. I don't know. Like Rommel and Mussolini. Now this radio. Okay, what about this guy? He's got scrim all over his helmet. But this radio man has like a little piece of metal sticking up for his antenna, so I don't plan to drill a hole for him. This guy's carrying a bunch of ammo cans. think this is a mortar base. We're putting your mortar together. There's this guy seated. He's wounded. Got a couple of bandages, one on his arm, one on his head. Now this guy's got an MG42 and he's standing. Well, maybe he's supposed to be shooting over somebody's shoulder. That's a 2-figure base. I'll probably have to use a horse base. Okay, there goes the postman. Go check my mail, see if I got my buildings. There's this guy. Looks like a medic helping somebody. 2 figures. Is that a flamethrower? Yep. There's a flamethrower. Fallschirmjäger flamethrower team. This guy's carrying mines in his hands. Okay, we've got some engineers. Got a guy pulling the pin on or pulling the ripcord on a potato masher. A guy kneeling with binoculars. So over the next couple of days, I'll probably have to assemble some of these guys, put them on their bases, and get them ready to go. Oh, he's got a huge bandolier. Okay, before I let you guys go, I'm going to go check my mail, see if I got those buildings in. If I did, I'll show them off to you. Otherwise, at that point, I'll be breaking off for lunch. But let's go check. Give me like 2 minutes. And I'll be right back. Hey guys, I am back. I did not get that package, so I am going to write an email after lunch. And it's not a big deal. It's just that I'm curious to know where it's at. You know, did they ship it? Did they overlook my order? You know, should I expect it in another week? You know, what's going on? That's all I want to know. All right, guys. Thanks for coming out and checking out this stream. And I will see you. Well, I'm going to make a few recordings. I'm going to record some French. My French commission that I finished. I'm going to record this. And then Sunday night, I think I'm going to upload it for everybody to, maybe Saturday night, I'm not sure, for everybody to see it. As well as the store news update. The sale is coming to a close at the end of the month, so that's only a few days away. If you're interested in a 20% off sale on all my products, you should check that out. And what else? Yeah, just look forward to me putting all these Fallschirmjägers together all next week. And, oh yeah, my Traveler game that I play on Wednesday nights, I think we're going to be starting a rotation where we play every other week. Just so you know. All right, guys, I'll catch you.